Good day, student. Welcome to Pinard ACCA e-learning. This is financial management constructive response question. We're looking at calculating weighted average cost of capital. And for this particular question is based on the market values. This is financial management sample exam December 2016. Now let's see how we can approach this question. Let's assume this is one of the theory questions that we're given in the exam. Remember, you may have WACC as one of your constructive response questions. It may or may not come out for you. The system selects the question and it gives you maybe a mixture of investment appraisal, working capital, it may be WACC, and just like that. So let's see. The question is saying, calculate the market value weighted average cost of capital of Gardner Co. 11 marks. Now let's read the scenario. It said Gardner Co. wishes to calculate its weighted average cost of capital. The company has the following sources of finance. So they've told you these are the sources of finance. Ordinary shares, 10% preference shares, 8% loan note, bank loan. You can see their book values in front of them. Now, if the examiner is asking you to calculate WACC based on book value, these are the figures I will use to represent like my market value, because they're asking me to use the book value. So there will be no need for me to calculate the market value anymore. But the question is saying calculate the market value weighted average cost of capital. So it's important to know the difference between the two. Let's go further. So the ordinary shares have a nominal value of $0.2 per share and are currently trading at $6.35 per share. The equity beta of Gardner Co. is 1.25. The preference shares are irredeemable and have a nominal value of $0.5. They are currently trading at $0.55 per share. The 8% loan notes have a nominal value of $100 per loan note and a market value of $108.29 per loan note. They are redeemable in 6 years' time at a premium of 5% to its nominal value. The bank loan charges fixed interest rate of 7% per year. The yield on short-term dated UK Treasury bills is 4% and the equity risk premium is 5.6% per year. Gardner Co. pays corporation tax of 20%. Now, the examiner may not tell you how to calculate this cost of capital. It's for you to look at the question carefully and look at what method am I going to use. Why am I using this? You need to understand that as you're reading the question. Now, I'm going to do it one after the other. So I'm going to start with cost of equity. Well, we have ordinary shares there. I need to calculate the KE, cost of equity. Now, remember in the previous sessions, I told you that you can use two methods in calculating cost of equity, which is KE. That is using CAPM, or you can use the dividend growth model approach. Now, the examiner may not tell you, which is usually the case, which method to use. So when you're looking at the question, you start seeing those parameters or those things you need to solve the question. Then you know, wow, this is the one the examiner is asking me to use. Now, if you look clearly at this question, you find out there's an equity beta that was given to us, 1.25. We read further again. You saw they gave us treasury, the yield on short-dated UK Treasury bills, 4%, which is the risk-free rates. Treasury bills rates are also the risk-free rate, which is 4%. They also gave us the risk premium, which is 5.6%. Then voila, your mind just tells you they're expecting you to use the CAPM method of calculating cost of equity. If you are saying dividend is expected to grow at a rate of 4% per annum, then that means you're trying to tell me dividend that was paid was this, and it's expected that dividend is going to grow at this rate, at so X rate per annum to the foreseeable future. Then that means you're trying to tell me to use the dividend growth model approach in calculating my cost of equity. So let's see how we can calculate KE first. I've told you in previous constructive response sessions, there is no mark for formula. If you cannot put the formula there, write out the solving, that the workings equals to, use a calculator and put the answer in front of it. There is no mark for formula. But sometimes when you learn how to use the formulas, simple formula, it makes you first in the exam. Once the examiner clicks the cell, it sees your workings. So once you use formula, there's no need to write out the workings anymore or type out the workings because it's already in the cell. So let's see. So let's start. All right. Okay, so Gardner Co. So I'm going to go cost of equity. Okay, all right, cost of equity. So now KE, all right, equal to, now if I'm going to use the formula, remember its formula is risk-free rate plus the beta multiplied by what is in the brackets. So the risk-free rate here is 4%, so that'll be 4%. Okay, the risk-free rate, the beta here is 1.25. Okay, multiply by, so I'm going to do that, sign up, multiply by what's in the brackets. Here they give us the premium, so that means they've done the subtraction between the return from the market and the risk-free rate. So that's what, 5.6%. Okay, so I'm going to close the whole bracket. Okay, let me put the bracket in front of here. Okay, so I'm going to close the whole bracket. So that bracket is different from the outside bracket, that's what I mean. So putting everything together, well, 11. Now if I don't put this in percentage, you can come here and say, okay, you want to make your answers 1 decimal place. Yeah, 1 decimal place or 2 decimal places, okay. Very easy. At the same time, so when the examiner clicks the cell, it sees the workings and you get your mark for it. Now, if you say you don't want to do it that way, you want to type it out, maybe you're not comfortable with using the formula, so you can come here and say the risk-free rate, which is 4%. So I'll go with 4%. Okay, by 5.6%. Okay. So I'm going to use my calculator now and calculate it fast. Then I'm going to put 11% in front of it. When I get my answer 11%, I'm going to write 11%. So whichever one you like, you do. If you're not comfortable with the formula, write it out like this, equals to 11%, use your calculator. There is no mark for formula, but if you use formula most times, it's faster. Okay, so we've done cost of equity. The next thing we're going to look at is what? We're going to look at, what's the next one? The preference shares are redeemable, irredeemable, and have a nominal value of 0.5 and trading at $0.55. Now, the thing is what's the formula for cost of preference shares? Say K-pref is equal to what? The dividend paid over the market value of what? The preference shares, XDIV. Now, the preference shares dividend is the amount, you can say the 10% amount, the coupon, the 10% times the nominal value of the preference shares, like the interest on the preference shares. The 10% times the nominal value of the interest shares gives you, the preference share gives you the dividend. Then divide that by the market value gives you your cost of preference shares. So go there and say cost of preference shares. Okay, so cost of preference shares. Okay, so I will say K-pref equal to, now remember the dividend, it's 10% multiplied by the nominal value, so equal to you can put it 10, you can put it in decimal, but let me just put it in decimal if you want to. So this multiply by, so remember the market value of the share is 0.5. Okay, this is now divided by the market value. So what we have on top now is D, which is 10% times $50, $0.5, divided now by the market value, which is 0.55. Okay, so this, this. I'll go back and put a percentage. Remember, we're using one decimal place. Voila, 9.1%. Okay, so I'll go to the next one. What are we doing next? Cost of the loan note. That's cost of debt, which is a loan note. Now, this loan note is redeemable loan note. It's not irredeemable. If it's irredeemable, we would have just do KD net is equals to I over PO. I 1 minus T over PO. But this is redeemable. It means we have to do the IRR. We need to do IRR to get our cost of what? Our cost of debt. So let's use IRR in getting cost of debt. So here, it's a little bit tricky, so you need to be very attentive when I'm solving this part. So I'm going to say cost of debt. Okay, so this is loan note. All right. Now, remember, we have to use two rates. Calculate one MPV using a rate, so it's guess. It's a hit or miss technique. So we use one rate, we use another rate. If we get a positive, most times you reduce the rate, increase the rate, sorry, to get negative. If you have negative, the first one, you reduce the rate to get a positive because of that plus and minus sign. But if you're good with your plus and minus sign, I've said that before, you don't need to calculate it twice. You just waste your time. As long as you're comfortable with the sign, two negative MPV, if you use them with IRR, you're correct, you get the same answer. Two positive, you get the same answer. One positive, one negative, you get the same answer. Okay? Plus and minus, just some few variations. But just understand the concept of using the MPV, because now I'm going to use formula for this. So it's going to be a little bit tricky for you. So if you understand the workings, then it is no problem. But if you don't understand, you can just, as I've said before, type out your workings, year one, year this, or year this to this, use an annuity, redemption amount, use discount factor equals to, use your calculator and neatly put your workings there. Whatever you do, type out your workings if you're not comfortable with formulas. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use the first rate. I'm just going to guess, I like starting with 10%. So I'm going to start with 10% rate. So that's 10%. At 10%, okay? Okay. Now at 10%, what I'm going to do here, you remember that year one, year zero is where we put the market value. And the market value is always multiplied by 1. That's in year zero. Then the interest, after we've removed the tax implication, the tax relief on the interest payment, we multiply. That figures are always the same in all those years, apart from, even with the last year, apart from the redemption amount that is paid in the last year, that we normally use our discount factor. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to put everything on a straight line. But once you look at the workings, we have solved questions, and I've put year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. I've showed you the different ways of doing it. You can come back and look at it, and it makes a whole lot of sense to you, and it's faster this way. Equal to, remember, the first one is year, the one on top is what? Year 0. And that year 0, it's always in bracket. That's the market value. It's in bracket. If you remember, it's in bracket. So I'm going to say minus. What's the market value of the loan note? 108.29. Now, that 108.29, remember, it's a summation of everything that gives you the MPV. Plus, I'm going to open bracket again. Okay? Now, the interest is how much? Remember, it's the coupon multiplied by what? The nominal amount. What is the coupon here? The coupon is what? 8%. The interest is always the coupon multiplied by 100, which is the nominal amount here, 100. So the interest is what? 8% times 100. So 8% times 100 is what? $8. So that's $8. Multiplied by, remember, 1 minus T here is going to be like 1 minus, the tax rate is 20% here. So 20% minus 100 is 80. So that's 0.8. Okay, I've just done 1 minus T now. Multiply by, now I'll have to use my table. Remember, the loan note is redeemable in 6 years. So I'll find an annuity for 6 years, 10% for 6 years. It's redeemed at 6 years. So I'll find 10% in 6 years. So I'll go to my formula sheet. Okay. This present value table. What we need is an annuity table. 10% for 6 years. I think I can see it now. So I'll put it on one side. So I don't have to be opening and opening and opening it all the time. Okay, so 10% for 6 years. Sorry, I think the formula has gone up, but you can just amend it back again so that you don't have a problem. So you just put it inside, click and adjust it. So 10% for 6 years is what? 4.355. So just go here and edit it. Because we brought the formula table out, that's why it just did the summation for you. But we're not through yet. That's 4.355. 10% for 6 years and annuity. 4.355. Okay? So now that we have that, remember, we're going to add it now. We still have the redemption amount that will multiply by the discount factor. So redemption amount is going to be redeemed at 5% premium. Remember the question is going to redeem at what? 5% premium. 5% premium is 105. So I'm going to open another bracket. 105. Okay. Sorry, this I need to add this, not multiply. Sorry. 105. Raise this. This discount factor. So now we'll find discount factor of 6%, 10% for year 6. Because this discount factor, present value table, 10% for year 6 is 0.564. So I'm going there, 0.564. Okay. Now I have everything put in place. That's my NPV. So when the examiner clicks here, it's in your NPV at 10%. So you can come and say NPV. Okay. Straightforward, simple. So now I'm going to use another rate. Now I got a minus. I'm going to reduce the rate. So I'm going to take it to 1%. If I got positive, I take it to 20%. That's just my usual style. So you can use any two rates you like. All right, let's see. At 1%, it's still going to be the same idea, but of course we are going to look at the table again. But it's the same way we arranged it just now. So in case you're not clear with the first one, let's do it again. Equals to the market value. Remember, minus, because the market value is in brackets. So minus the market value. 108.29. Okay, plus open bracket, the interest rate is $8. You remove the 1 minus t, which is now 80%. If you remove 20%, you'll be left with 80%. That's 0.8. Multiply by the annuity of 1% for 6 years. So I'll go back to my table. 1% for 6 years annuity. 1%. This is 1% here. For 6 years, 5.795. Okay, I close the bracket. I'm going to add it to the redemption amount multiplied by the discount factor in year 6. Redemption amount we've said is 105. Multiplied by the discount factor in year 6. I'm going back to my table. 1% is year 6 is 0.942. So that's it. Okay. Voila. So that's the NPV at 1%. So I have NPV at 1% and 10%. Now I can calculate my IRR, which is my cost of debt. KD net. So KD net is going to be Now I'm going to put inside the IRR. The formula, remember, IRR formula is low rate plus, open bracket, NPV of low rate over NPV of low rate minus NPV of high rate, multiplied by open bracket, high minus low, close bracket, then the total bracket in percentage gives you your IRR. So just know the. So for cost of debt, I'm going to say equal to, the low rate here is 1%. Okay. Open bracket. The NPV of low okay, divide by the NPV of low 27.708 minus 21.998, so it makes it plus. Sorry, 21.198. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. That's what is at the bottom, the denominator. And this, I will now have high minus low. So I'm going to multiply this now, what I have at the bottom, by high rate is 10%. Minus 1%. I'm going to close this. So this is everything down, so you understand. So we've done everything now. So okay, so here we go here, make it one decimal place. You can see, voila, cost of debt is 5.7%. We've just used IRR to do that. Just learn how to put this in the formula. It's very easy. Kidding it. Okay? So let's move on. The next one we'll be solving will be what? Bank loan. The bank loan is very straightforward. I mean, it's a fixed charge rate, so just interest rate I into 1 minus T. That's all. So that's straightforward, pretty much straightforward. So cost of bank loan. So it's going to be KD net. Okay, another KD net, which is like bank loan. So let me just say KD net bank, put a bracket bank, so that you don't mix the two up. So it's going to be easy. Just do I minus, so the interest is just there. That's a bank loan is 7%, so that's going to be equal to, okay, 7%, multiply by 1 minus T, which is like 0.8, which we've used before. So I'm going to put this one decimal place. Okay, 5.6%. So I have for bank loan now. I've done the cost of calculated all the cost of capital. The next thing to calculate the market values. Okay, so the market values is truncated in 1,000. So I'm just going to make mine in million. So yeah, I can put, you can still go down if you want to move down, but I like moving sideways so I can see everything. I'm faster. So I have million to have, okay. So for market value of equity, we said the ordinary shares. Did they tell us how many shares you have in the capital structure? No, because we need to multiply the shares now by the market value of the share. So what you do to get it, you need to divide. The nominal value, the book value of the equity by the nominal value. then multiply it by the market value of the share. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say equal to, open bracket. Now I'm going to divide the book value, which is 8 million. So that's 8 million. Okay, divided by the nominal value of the share is what? The nominal value of the share is 0.20, so that's 0.2. Okay, now this now multiply by, what's the value per trading at what? 6.35. So that's 254 million. Okay, so that's the market value. All right, we'll go to the next one. Cost of preference shares, we just multiply the market value of the preference shares by the number of preference shares. Did they give us the number of preference shares? No. So we use the same approach, right? So it's going to be equal to, bracket. Now what do we have as preference shares? We have book value of preference shares as 2 million. So that's going to be 2 million divided by, what's the nominal value of the preference shares? 0.5. Now I'm going to multiply this now by the market value per preference share, that's 0.55. If I do that, that should give me 2.2. I'm going to loan notes now. The loan note, they say each $100 loan note is trading at 108.29. So that means, what's the book value of the loan note? 6 million. So that will be 6 million divided by 100 multiply by, you see, every 100 in the 6 million is multiplied by 108.29. Okay, then we'll go to bank loan. Bank loan is just easy, is the book value you have there, which is 2 million. So this is market value of equity, market value of the preference shares, market value of the preference shares, the market value of the bank loan, which is the book value. So next thing is to calculate WACC. So I can come here and say WACC. Sorry. WACC is WACC. All right. Now for WACC, there are two ways to solve it, but I like using the cost of equity, the cost of capital minus the market value, add them together, divided by the total market value. I love that way. So let me do the numerator first. Don't put everything once in your formula. Do the numerator in one line, in one box. Do the denominator in one box. Then you can use formula to divide the two boxes and get your WACC, and that's easy as that. Okay, so let me do the first one for the top. Equal to, open bracket, cost of equity is 11%. That's 11%. Multiply this by the market value. Market value is what? 254. Close bracket. Add to open bracket. Cost of debt preference shares was 9.1%. Multiply this by the market value 2.2. Close bracket. Add this to the cost of a loan note, which is what, let's say 6.5. Multiply by the market value. No, that's not, that's 5.7. I was taking the market value. That's 5.7, sorry. Multiply by 6.5, which is the market value. So we have a bank loan. You see, bank loan was what? 5.6. Multiply by 2. You see, it's just the same thing as bank loan is 2. Oh, I put it here. It's supposed to be down here. Okay, we'll correct it, don't worry. 2. Okay. So I have what is on top. So I have 28.5, 28.6277. So I have what is on top on the formula. I want to do what is under now. That's the denominator. That's the total of the market value. That's 254 plus 2.2 plus 6.5 plus 2, which is market value of loan notes. So I can now say WACC. WACC is equal to G, what's the cell there? G4 divided by G5. G4 divided by G5. Then I put this in percentage. Remember, cost of capital is always represented percentage. That's 10.8%. So that's our WACC. So let me bring this 2 that I put mistakenly here as market value of this market value of bank loans. So it has to be here too. It doesn't matter. The examiner sees it, knows maybe it was just typographical error, and you'll be penalized for that. Just a misplacement error, so you won't be penalized for that. Okay, so you can see 10.8%, that is the WACC. Simple and easy to calculate. All right, you can try it again on your own. Get used to using the formulas. You find out that using the formula is pretty much easy for you to calculate your WACC. Once the examiner clicks the cell, he sees your workings. He clicks here, he sees your workings, you get your mark. He clicks here, see your workings. But if you cannot do this, right, just type out your workings and put equals to, use your calculator, get your answer, write it, and type it there in front of it. You still get the same mark, but you may be slower. All right, thank you very much for listening. My name is Andrew Pinnock. Thank you.